Yo people, welcome back to another video, and it is off to the boundary show, our regular cricket show, where we discuss everything about the beautiful game. Selling a bit of soccer there, but it is a beautiful game, and yeah, to join me is Manny. How are you?
All good, all good, all good. It is pretty much the summer game in both South Africa and the UK, which probably might be what adds to the beauty, as it were. Whereas with football or soccer, as it would be normally called, it's pretty much winter sport. But it is what it is. Always good to chat about this beautiful game for sure. I wouldn't necessarily call T20 a beautiful game as such, but yeah, I tolerate it.
Yeah. But of course, we went here for. I think that last week we missed it. Unfortunately, I was just busy. I forgot about it. So yeah. Um, but we got a lot of topics to discuss. One mainly being, of course, the IPL. I've got to talk Pakistan demolishing New Zealand in a 4-1 ODI series win. It was a T20 match. The T20 series was drawn 2-2. Um, but the ODIs were mostly Pakistan. New Zealand, they put up some big totals. But if you look at their team, it's not the strongest team. Um, so I can't really fault them much. They don't have Bolt in there. They don't have the likes of Devon Conway in there. So I can't say that they aren't up there. They put up some good totals, but unfortunately the batting just couldn't provide for them this series. So yeah, that's mostly that. I think I don't think they will take any stuff from this because some of the games you look um so, like except the fourth one you look Pakistan, that third ODI, it was a close one, 26 runs in it. They had with 5 balls to spare. Give them that five balls, you never know. um Second ODI, Pakistan reached it, but they did have a few balls left, some balls left, but was difficult for them to chase it. So Seven did put up good numbers, 336, 288. So have put up huge numbers. I think where their flags was the bowling department and the batting. So bulk up yourself. So mate, this is basically a cricket show. Talk everything cricket. So yeah, but be up yourself for 20 minutes. So yeah. Uh, Manny, your thoughts on the series one?
Yeah, I think it was pretty clear, Hanno, that the New Zealand team were pretty much going to be on a hiding to nothing, given that several of their players are now playing in the IPL. And I think in Kane Williamson's case, he might be thinking that he might have been better off preparing to go to Pakistan rather than going to India to play in the IPL, because as we all know, that knee injury he sustained while playing for the Gujarat Lions means that he will miss out on captaining the team in India. And obviously, he would have been an important part of the team's attempt to try and gain a measure of revenge for the final defeat and maybe go one better. So with Tim Southey also not in the team, it was basically Tom Latham who was captaining the side. And it was in many ways a young, I wouldn't necessarily say experimental team, but certainly a team which didn't quite have that level of quality that the likes of Williamson, Conway, Bolt, and company would bring to the team. Heck, even Mitchell Santner is enjoying some time in the IPL of all things. So it was Pakistan were able to field a full strength team. And just taking a look at the scorecards as well, it's interesting to see how normally Azam and Rizwan would be the opening partnership, but they tried a new opening combination for a few games. If memory serves me right, it was Fakhar Zaman who, in fact, scored in that high scoring game between New Zealand and Pakistan, where Mitchell scored 129 and Latham cruelly and agonizingly got out too short of a century. Fahar Zaman actually top scored with a mammoth innings of 180 off 144 balls with six sixes and 17 fours. Imam Al Haq was his partner, with Azam coming in at number 3 and Rizwan coming in at number 5. So it seems as though Pakistan feel as though they can experiment a little bit with their batting order, but I suppose that comes with the territory of being able to field to have, sort of have a full strength squad being at home. You can pretty much drop and select players however you see fit. And I certainly tried a few players. Several of them, of course, obviously, the likes of Shaheen Afridi might have been rested as a bit of a precaution. Don't want to, run the risk of having them get injured, but they will certainly be expected to play important roles for Pakistan in the World Cup. But as for New Zealand, look, they will take a few good performances from this, and they have played some good cricket on occasions, but haven't really been able to hammer their advantage home. I think if we take a look at the last ODI in Karachi, which New Zealand won, that was certainly a fine performance from them, where Will Young, of course, top scoring with 87, and Latham also having a fine series with the bat, chipping in with 59 off 58. Some more important contributions with the likes of Chapman and Makangshi and Rachin Ravindra, taking them to just one short of the magic 300. But their bowling, obviously, Shipley and Ravindra combining for 6 wickets between them, and the others contributing, basically denying them that much in terms of partnerships. Of course, Iftikhar Ahmed played a terrific hand with a wonderful innings of 94, unbeaten. Should have had a century, but sadly wickets were falling all around him like nine pins, and he wasn't quite able to get the landmark or see his team home. Pakistan do have the makings of a fine team, and I think they're going to try and look to select their World Cup squad and their starting lineups for the main games based on this particular series. Clearly, Azam and Rizwan have shown some good form with the bat at 3 and 4, and they could be an option as openers. But Fakhar Zaman has certainly sealed one opening position, so it'll be interesting to see who partners him. And then, of course, if you can have the likes of Iftikhar Ahmed and Shadab Khan coming in at 6 and 7, and maybe hitting a little bit, that's also good. Shaheen Afridi is always very important. And Pakistan do look to be a team that could be expected to go some way. I think New Zealand are going to have to play a few games with the IPL few as well, because you can't have a situation where your best players go to play the IPL for the sake of adapting more to the climate, but end up missing out on time playing with their teammates, and that's sort of how it's proved. But New Zealand are always a team which punches above their weight in World Cups and also in every single format of the game. I think once the IPL players come back, the squad will be strengthened. I think they are probably going to miss Martin Guptill, who has been a fine batsman for them at the top of the order. But obviously, Devon Conway and Finn Allen and one or two others will be expected to serve as decent replacements. But you just never know. Maybe if there are some more injuries, and I mentioned that Williamson will be a big loss, then New Zealand could very well be under the cosh.
Yeah, I agree. Barkov says, big one considering the turmoil in Pakistan. Mani, could you just elaborate on the turmoil in Pakistan? I don't
Yeah, the
recall.
turmoil basically involves the arrest of the former prime minister and, of course, former cricket legend Imran Khan, who, of course, lost the prime ministership in not too recent elections and was arrested due to, for several issues, I believe. And I'd have to sort of look that story up further on and tell you. But there were also protests by by his supporters um, earlier today as well and yesterday, and things are just looking a little bit. There's a lot of unrest in Pakistan, but I tell you what, there's been a lot of unrest before, and obviously Pakistan has been subject to a lot of security issues. There have been some bombings over there. In fact, with the Pakistan-New Zealand connection, I do believe that a series which was supposed to have taken place between them actually had to be called off due to a couple of bomb blasts in Pakistan at the time. So there's been even worse turmoil and unrest in Pakistan. This should die down eventually, and I think hopefully things will continue. But it just goes to show that the country is emotionally and politically charged as Pakistan. When things aren't going too well, you know, it can be a bit dangerous.
Yeah. Just want to say, keep smashing that like button. And of course, speaking on the Chelsea woman, um, I think it was. It's now 4-0. They scored 7 against the Everton woman. I think it was. Yeah, it was 5 goals in the first half. So yeah, that's that was madness. So yeah, Biak, okay. So we'll move on to Bangladesh versus Ireland. Of course, the first ODI ranked out, which means not Chelsea, South Africa, uh, qualifies for the World Cup later this year. So that's definitely going to, so we definitely qualifying on that. And I think Bangladesh needed to win, I believe, to qualify. Just look at the table. I think it was no, sorry, Ireland needed one to qualify. Yeah, and if they won, they would have qualified against us. So, Bava. So, I'm happy. I didn't expect much of Ireland, to be fair. So either way, I'm happy. Um, but yeah, prediction for the rest. For the next two ODIs, if we look at Ireland's first, for the first team, Ireland's team was pretty much full strength. Bangladesh, then they aren't as full strength. Also, of course, some of their players are also overseas, not overseas, in the IPL, overseas, kind of overseas for them, like neighbors for them. So yeah,
You could say over rivers if you like.
yeah, it's just across them. So yeah, I expected Bangladesh to win the series. I still think they will win the series. And Ireland, the confidence is going to have a bit of a shot now that they know there isn't anything to play for really. So I'm going to go with a clean sheet to no Bangladesh unless there's rain.
I'm going to disagree with you. I think this series could probably end up being tied 1-1. And the reason why I say this is because, in as much as Ireland weren't quite able to qualify due to circumstances, and it is absolutely sickening to see your hopes washed away with the rain, they also know that they will have to play in the qualifiers, and a good showing against Bangladesh should be able to give them some confidence as they go into the tournament. Because let's bear in mind, of course, when it comes to the qualifiers, a large number of teams with pretty impressive histories and pedigrees will be in that qualifying tournament. So Ireland will obviously want to look to try to do as well as they possibly can. And you and I know quite well, Hanno, that when it comes to cricket, especially if you're a team playing in the qualifiers, reputation counts for nothing these days. So Ireland are going to want to make sure they take the game seriously, and they're going to want to obviously prove that they deserve to be in that World Cup on merit. And whenever they compete in the World Cup, they always make a good impression. As an England fan, I only remember too well that incredible heist that Kevin O'Brien and company pulled on Andrew Strauss's England not too long ago. That was in 2011, if I'm not wrong, when the tournament was also held in India. And one thing which is quite funny is that in that tournament, England also tied with India, very nearly won that match. And under the existing format, under the format from previous tournaments, if India weren't able to win against England, they probably wouldn't have gone on to qualify for the latter stage, and they wouldn't have even won the tournament. But it is what it is. But I think Ireland should be able to do well in this series, and I am looking forward to seeing the series finish 1-1. As to which matches will end up, being decided in which favour, I'll take a look at the games. Both ODIs are going to be played in Chelmsford. I would reckon that Ireland will probably win the second ODI and Bangladesh might win the third. So I'm going for a 1-1 split. Hannah, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm back. So yeah, you've gone 1-1.
Yep.
Fair enough. Next, we will look at the IPL and what's been going on there. Of course, it's been interesting of late. Of course, MS Dhoni's men did defeat my team, but the table is really close heading into the last few games. Games, for so yeah, of course, 10th place Delhi Capitals are on 8 points. They are only 2 wins away from being in that fourth spot. Look, Punjab, Bangalore, Kolkata, Rajasthan, and basically everyone except the top three has been a bit disappointing. Late, of course, Chennai. Yeah, they now top of the table, I believe. Or no, that's the most recent match. Yeah, their points at least correct. Um, you look, it's so tight because there's 3 matches left um to play. So you tell Rajasthan they win last 3 matches. They on six no yeah 16 points means that then it's a total different situation. You looked if Delhi Capitals Um, won today, they would have they would have gone above Sunrisers. So on 10, they would have been on 10. So yeah, Peppers of Barkev. What's the chance for Sunrisers? Went to a game last week. Sunrisers to it's a top four that qualifies. Yeah. So and then
Yeah, big
right
up to Pargav.
is
I know that Pargav is in Hyderabad right now, and obviously he will be looking forward to watching the Sunrisers do as well as they can. Um, it just goes to show that at this particular midway stage, form at the early part of the season, unless you're able to have that consistency and maintain it, can be quite difficult. I take a look at the Rajasthan Royals. They were at one stage and really flying high, second in the table with a run rate to, kill for. But then a few really tragic defeats, including the almighty choke against Mumbai, where Timothy David smacked Jason Holder out of the ground for 3 sixes in succession, and a few other defeats as well, has really knocked the wind out of their sails. I believe they also lost their last game with their bowler at the time, with 2 balls remaining, bowling a no ball, and seeing the free hit go for 6. So
yeah, of course, lost that. That's against the Sunrisers. So speaking of
yes,
them,
yes, yes, the Sunrisers.
Let's
So,
hope.
they seem to rely as a team on the contributions of more than a few players. I know that Butler got back into form against the Sunrisers, but his returns were a bit disappointing prior to that. Jaiswal at the top of the order, his partner has been doing outstandingly well, and of course, Yuzvendra Chahal has been, you know, picking up wickets by the bucket load, and I think he's now one of the leading wicket takers in the tournament so far. But apart from that, I mean, obviously Hetmeyer had a few good knocks as well. They just seem to be unable to really get really sterling contributions
Yeah,
from several of their other players. And I mentioned Jason Holder. I think he's been an absolute disappointment. I think obviously, despite being a former captain of the West Indies, he hasn't been able to, really stand up and make himself counted. And the team management are going to have to really look at making some important changes. I actually think that Holder should be dropped. They even gave Joe Root his debut against the Sunrisers. Joe Root is not normally someone you'd associate with T20 cricket, but I guess that just goes to show how desperate they are in a way. And, you
yeah.
know, I wouldn't necessarily call this desperate times for the Royals. I know that the beauty of this tournament and the beauty of the game means there are if once they start getting on a run, I believe they've got to face Kolkata tomorrow at the Eden Gardens. If they can start to pull a win from there, at least they'll get their confidence back and maybe get back on a run. We'll have to see. The Super King, the Lions look really ferocious, and credit to the Super Kings. I mean, it just goes to show that even with a few cameos from MS Dhoni at the very end of the innings, it makes a bit of a difference. And I think there's an article on Cricinfo which says that maybe bowlers are so frightened by Dhoni's reputation that they end up conceding a few more when they bowl to him. And I think earlier on in the season, teams weren't. I'm not too sure that would necessarily be true because when Rajasthan beat them at the Chidambaram Stadium, I believe their death bowler, who was bowling to Tony, made sure that he was well restricted and couldn't really get much headway. But confidence is always an important factor, and we've also seen the Mumbai Indians recover magnificently to go to third in the table under Rohit Sharma's captaincy. Just goes to show how important that win over Rajasthan was. Um, Bangalore, of
Gujarat is
course.
such a loaded team. That comment. Yeah,
Oh
I,
yeah,
I don't really like them. Just newcomers spice everything, and yeah, they are like the PSG of the IPL, but they actually won stuff. Like it's mad. Um, do you reckon the
a cut.
Sunrisers can get playoffs?
Hard to say. Hard to say. I
Let's
think
look at their
the
features.
poor start they've had has pretty much set them back in
They
not the
got
best way possible.
what they got. I'm just going to see their fixtures. So they got Lucknow. They got Lucknow, Gujarat, and then RCB, and then Mumbai.
Hmm.
Now I think the writing's on the wall for Sunrisers. I think
And
Lucknow they might sneak one. I don't know. I think Lucknow will get that over the line. Gujarat they're going to lose that. RCB they might get to win. Mumbai away. That's a tough place to go. Mumbai.
yeah,
So I think the writing on the wall for them.
yeah.
Um. So yeah, where's the table again? I just want to look at Delhi Capitals fixtures, of course, also on 8 points. We've got Punjab twice. We don't have a good record against Punjab. And then we've got CSK. And I believe we got one more match. Or is that the end?
Hmm.
Uh,
Yeah, the CSK game. I think that's going to be played at the Delhi home ground.
yeah.
Obviously, today you lot went to the Chidambaram Stadium and played. That is, of
Yeah.
course, known as the Fortress over there, and it wasn't really surprising that the home conditions ended up,
Mm.
you know, working in their favor. And special
Well,
mention must be given to their newcomer, the bowler Matisha Pradikshana, who's got that
oh,
sort of a
mate.
slingy sort of action, which reminds me of Lassit Malinga at his peak.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you. I absolutely despise that kind of a bowling action, and I'm always more of a classicist who believes that when you bowl, Hanno, like for example, regardless of whether you're left-handed or right-handed, whenever you bowl, for example, especially if you're whether you're a fast bowler or a spinner, the hand should be at the highest point, and you sort of bring it down. Now, I take the point that bowlers like Waqar Yunus of Pakistan, who had a more round armish action, he was still able to, bowl in such a way that it was somewhat at a higher point, where it could be at where your hand is sort of perpendicular to the pitch, if you will. When you bowl in such a way that your hand is pretty much parallel, I mean, I've realised it might be sour grapes, given that a batsman may not be able to necessarily pick that quite well, but it's exceptionally awkward, and teams are going to have to try to work to play that particular way, and also read that kind of bowling, because it can certainly be very lethal at that particular speed if he gets his line right. I mean, there was a delivery he bowled today. It wasn't to your South African Riley Russo, but to his partner at the time, which completely, got him plumb LBW. And when it's effective, it works a treat. But it is a nasty, nasty bowling style, and I personally, I think that should be outlawed. But I know that there'll be others who disagree with me.
Yeah, it's almost lasted Malinga type style. I think Delhi, we don't have a good record against Punjab, but we can't beat them. We can't beat them. If we win all three of our last games, then we have done the best, or we can. We win, it's 10, 12, 14. We end on 14 points. Then you just have to hope results go your way at the end of the day. Um, so yeah, even if it is you miss out the playoffs by one of you. So yeah, but big matches to come. Um, so yeah,
Yeah, I
for
hope
that
for
reason,
Delhi's I hope for Delhi's sake that Warner stays on, because obviously as captain, senior player, opening batsman, he didn't start have the best of starts, but he's since come into his own. And obviously, I think the Capitals might look to him to become more of a mentor. He might actually decide to retire from playing for Australia so that he can devote himself to playing in T20 franchises around the world, while also maybe playing first class cricket back in Australia. So if the Delhi Capitals keep him on as a player and sort of a mentor, I think the following season should be good for you lot.
yeah, should be. But tomorrow's game, Kolkata Knight Riders versus the Rajasthan Royals. Um, so you guys are almost similar in the table. It's third versus fourth. Winner goes or fourth versus sixth. Sorry, winner goes above Mumbai. Uh, except the Kolkata one. Um, oh yeah, no, they do go. So
Yeah, we could.
both of you
Yeah,
guys,
we could go above Mumbai because of the run rate. And bear
yeah,
in
run
mind, of
right.
course, that when the Rajasthan Royals began their campaign with 4 wins out of 5, their run rate was magnificent. But that slump has really seen them, to have a huge come down. So I think Sanju Samson and the boys are really going to have to pull themselves together. But again, like I said, the beauty of this game is that you can get a win, get your confidence high, and it can sort of take you above. It can just push you over the line. And I think in terms of their squad, what they really have, they've got an excellent squad with quality in every single discipline. But they are going to have to make sure that they use their players effectively. I really don't want to see Jason Holder bowling again, because that fellow has had a huge problem with his line and his length, and seeing him being smacked for three consecutive sixes by Timothy David of the Mumbai Indians, it was sickening to watch if you were a Rajasthan fan. So they're going to have to pull their socks up. And Kolkata, I think they're going to be buoyed, of course, by the fact that they've got Rinku Singh in their team, who certainly will be remembered for having played the innings of the cameo of the tournament so far with his 5 sixes in that final over. And I think they should have some confidence, of course, given that they've got the advantage of the home support. That is going to be played at the Eden Gardens, I think. So they should have the crowd behind them. This is a game, though, which Rajasthan simply have to win. And I think if they make the right changes, they should, just come out on top in the end. So I'm going to predict a Rajasthan win.
Rajasthan won. Um, this one is a tough one for me. I think it could go either way. But Kolkata being at home, I'm going to back Kolkata, I can't lie. But it will be a narrow one, a tough one
Yeah.
to call. So, yeah, let me just. So, yeah, that's. Next game is. Just go back. Just next game is Mumbai versus Gora Titans. Don't like either team. Can can both teams lose?
That's going to be an interesting game because obviously, it's first versus third for now. Although that could change with Mumbai going into fourth if Rajasthan win. But you know,
Or Kolkata.
The Mumbai Indians are coming into their own right now after a dreadful start to the campaign, and certainly they've got the lower order batting, the middle and lower order batting to be able to compete. They've got Sky, who's pillaring runs off very few balls, and then Timmy David coming in and swatting them baseball style, and I think a lot's going to depend on their bowling for the rest of the series. If they can, restrict teams to some very manageable totals for them, Mumbai should very well do enough to earn a playoff spot. I think the Super Kings and the Titans are safe for now, but you can just never tell in this league. And I've also got one eye on the Champions League. Inter Milan have just taken the lead against AC at the San Siro. I believe it's Edin Dzeko who's just scored the first goal in the 8th minute from a corner. Just
Oh,
stuck his
I
big
said
left
Inter
foot
won.
out. Yeah, this sort of
Uh,
segues back to the prediction stream you did, and you did predict a tight 1-0 win. But listen, there's more than 80 minutes to go in the game. Mike Mannion rooted to the spot there, but anything can happen. There's still time. There's still time. Just getting the better of the AC Milan captain Calabria and leaving Mannion rooted to the spot. Game on.
yeah. But Mumbai, Gujarat, you going Mumbai?
I think I'll stick my neck out and go for Mumbai. I know they lost their last match at home to the Super Kings, but I did say that they're coming into their own, and I think the Titans will probably, I see them slipping up in this game.
As much as I don't like to say it, I'm going to back the Titans just because it would do a massive favor for Delhi if Mumbai lost. But it's going to be a tight one. That's for sure. Um, so yeah, next game is Hyderabad versus Lucknow.
Yes.
And again, this match is if Hyderabad wins, we could maybe see Hyderabad come back into the fold. So yeah, but if we look into it, Lucknow have beaten them twice. Nice. They might get some confidence, but I think they might also not. So I'm going to back Lucknow on this one. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I'd agree with you there. I think Hyderabad are obviously going to huff and puff and try and fight, but I think the Super Giants have had a better start to the tournament. They look a team, with the bit between their teeth. Yeah, Lucknow should come out on top in this one.
Yeah. And then Delhi Capitals versus Punjab at Delhi. We should beat them at home. If we don't beat them at home, then I really don't know. So I'm going to back
2
us
nil
at
to
home.
Inter Milan in the 11th minute, and this
Oh
time
my.
it's the ex Manchester United and Arsenal midfielder Henrik Mkhitaryan with the second goal. So already AC's dream is crumbling. Mkhitaryan, of course, one of Armenia's most capped players with nearly 100 caps, retired from international football before reaching the landmark, but still showing that he's got it.
Oh, what a strike.
Yep, sort of
But
had he was allowed to sort of go through, go beyond the defense, and huge strike there. Mannion going to ground a little bit too quickly, and didn't really stand up and make himself big there. Yeah, I think he should. I think the keeper should have done better with that, but it was hit fairly hard to be fair to him, and so Inter Milan are well on top.
yeah, yeah, definitely. But yeah, like I said, Delhi versus Punjab, I'm going to back Delhi. But this is always a tight one between us two. Um, we
I actually think that
usually,
I think Delhi could win this one too. I think they're starting to come together as a team, and Punjab are the type of team which seem to choke under the pressure a great deal. So yeah, I'll stick my neck out and go with you there, Delhi.
next game, Rajasthan against RCB. Bangalore have been struggling lately. Lost to Mumbai, lost to Delhi, lost to Mumbai, um, beat Lucknow, lost to Kolkata. So they have had a few tough results. This RCB team, when basically the batters after Faf and Kohli don't really perform. Almost as, again a situation of Kohli and AB, except them who performs of before Faf came in. So and RCB don't have the best away record or head to head backs Bangalore to win this one. But I'm going to stick my neck out and go for narrow by like 2 or 5 balls, something like that. Rajasthan get 2 runs on the bounce.
Yeah, this is actually a game which Rajasthan needs to win. And what you said about Francois Duplessis and Virat Kohli pretty much carrying the team with the bat has rung true. I know that Glenn Maxwell, the old warhorse, has played a few, pretty little innings, but again, it's really about Faf and Kohli. Just as with Chennai, it's often um, Gaikwad and Conway at the top of the order, and very few contributions after that. And then Tony coming in playing a few little shots here and there. You can't expect to win games and go far as a team if you're depending mainly on two players or a few players to sort of help you get the big totals you need. Faf is still showing that he's got it, as is Kohli, but you can't expect him to carry the team. And at least with Rajasthan, they have the players. I know they have similar issues with Jaiswal and Butler being the ones expected to um, take the team forward, but at least you can see that there is some quality in that team. And Hetmeyer has also played some excellent knocks for them. So, yeah, this should be a game that Rajasthan wins. There's no excuse for them if they can't beat the Royal Challengers on their home on at home. So yeah,
Yeah,
Rajasthan have to win that. No questions asked.
agree. Next game is Chennai versus Kolkata. I think away from home, Kolkata. It's going to be tough. I think Chennai wins this one again. I think they're going to win. They're going to go on a run. Always go on a run at the late stages. So yeah, I'm
Yeah,
backing
I mean,
Chennai.
of course, last season they off the post for Inter Milan, and could we see another goal here? Saved by Manyan and over the bar by the number 23 Barella, I think it is. But boy, oh boy, oh boy, the Rossoneri are being put through the ringer. Chalanoglu there with a goal, with a shot on goal off the inside of the post in the way. Mkhitaryan having a shot saved, and the number 23 Barella poking it over the bar. And Pioli is going to have a lot of work to do to try to change that team around. But yeah, for Chennai and Kolkata, that should be a routine win for Chennai. But if Chennai get complacent, I wouldn't be surprised if Kolkata knock them over.
Yeah. Us three games: Gujarat Titans versus Sunrisers. Hyderabad's home game for Gujarat. I'm going to back them with another one. Your thoughts?
Which game is this one? Gujarat against Sunrisers?
Yeah.
Yep. You can't look beyond the Titans for this one. No chance.
Yeah. And then Super Giants versus Mumbai.
There's an
I don't
issue
know.
with the ace.
Yeah.
Lucknow
I
against
don't.
Mumbai.
It's a tough one.
I like Mumbai's chances in this one. I think they're also one of the power teams in the IPL, and when they go on a run, they're almost unstoppable too. So I'll be backing Mumbai to win this one.
I'm going. I'm going to go Lucknow. I think they will do it at home. Then Punjab versus Delhi. That's away from home. Home. I don't back our chances away from home against Punjab. We usually lose to them away from home. They have an awful home record, so yeah. But I'm going to back Punjab. So yeah. Your thoughts? Punjab versus Delhi away for Delhi.
Yeah, the Punjab Kings should win this one. I know I've said that they crack under pressure, but I don't think they can have any excuse for not being able to defeat the Delhi Capitals. I mean, I did say the Capitals have started to come into their own and are starting to play a lot better, but given the poor start they've had, it might just be a step too far.
Yeah. Definitely. So yeah, that's the end of this. You guys know where to find Manny. You guys know where to find me. Yeah, on my stuff are laid down below. So yeah, be up yourselves, people, and we are